This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Wait, this isn't just another Map First Impressions video. This is the 300th Map First Impressions video. All right, with that over, welcome to Bantikow. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. This video is brought to you by Ravenhawk1. Thank you for being a farm baron. Now let's read a little bit of the description. Welcome back to Bantikow. It's time to write the next chapter of the history on this map. The map is converted and modernized from FS15 to 19. Start your career and discover the numerous challenges that await you. Breathe new life into this region. This map includes one large farm, 22 fields, 3 meadows, cow, pig, sheep, and chicken areas, rye and triticale as additional crops, 7 sell points, biogas plant, and free water in the rivers. So let's go ahead and, jump on in. So we're going to go ahead and activate the mods that we typically use when we take a look at these maps. And I will say that if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, all of the animal triggers are gone, and the silage triggers are gone from the silage bunkers. So clearly the preferred play mode is probably going to be New Farmer, just so that all of those triggers are going to be available to you. And here we are, loaded on into the map pretty quick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. You're going to see that we have rye and triticale, as we said earlier in the description. If we take a look at the lands area, we have the main starting farm here, which includes a farmhouse, sleep trigger, and a silo. And we also own fields 6 and 12. Also on the map, we have a dedicated cow area, $412,000. We have a small chicken area, $18,900. We have a sheep area, $138,600. And a pig area for $74,180. Now the description says one farm. Obviously, that's the farm, $581,000. But I really kind of consider it also having 4 other farms: the pig, chicken, cow, and sheep areas. Now we also have an area right here, which is to the southwest a little bit of the main farm. It has 2 silage bunkers, $22,760. We have a biogas plant, which is right here, for $87,300. And other things to note is that you can pretty much buy everything on the map, including the sell points, the shop, and the town area. So every piece of land is buyable on this map. Now let's take a look at some of these fields. Field 8 is 81 acres in size, 26.5 hectares, $1.6 million. Field 17 is 22.5 hectares, 65 acres, $1.3 million. Then we have smaller fields like field number 19, which is 3.5 hectares, 12.6 acres, or $256,000. Let's go ahead and take a look at the soil map. I will say that this map does not have a custom soil map. This is the generic soil map. And this map also does indeed have a seasons mask. So we can see the generic soil map laid out here. We've got a bit of silty clay to the north and south. Big chunk of the middle of the map is loamy sand and sandy loam. We've seen this plenty of times before on other maps that have the generic soil map. We have 2 main sell points. Even though the description says there are 7, there are 2 main sell points for the bulk of our grain crops. We have one sell point for our potatoes. It says purchase of root crops, plural, but really it's purchase of root crop because there are no listed sell points for sugar beets. We do have a sell point for eggs at the egg sell point. We do have a sell point for milk at the dairy station. And then we do have cotton and wool at the spinnery. We do have a sawmill, so we do have the ability to sell wood chips and logs should we so wish. And even if we do not own the biogas plant, the barn will take our silage, hay, straw, and grass. Those two same sell points will take our rye and triticale. And should we so happen to play with straw harvest, we can do that down at the barn also. Now, this map has a fair bit of starting equipment. All of it is new, well maintained. None of it is leased. So that will be good for everybody. We do not have any animals at the start, and we do have contracts available. Now let's take a look at that starting fleet. We start out with 3 tractors: the Case Puma 185 CVX, the New Holland T6 175, and the John Deere 165M. So our tractors range in horsepower from 142 to 225. We have a pair of harvesters in the Case 9240 and the RSM 161. Those harvesters are then paired with the TerraFlex Draper 45-foot header and the Draper Stream 900 header. We also have the Joskins Transpace 8000 trailer, the Manitou front loader, and then we have a pair of AgriLiner HKD 302 trailers. We have the Limken Titan 18 plow, as well as the Agrimaz POH 5 plow. We have the Tiger 6 DT cultivator. We have the Kuhn Discolander XM52, which also does cover crops, grass, oil seed radish, and canola. We have a Vanderstand Rapid A600 seeder, the Agrimaz Salvis 3800 planter. And then the planter, interesting enough, is also set up to do rye and triticale, as is the seeder. Take a look at that. We have the Deltas 1302 sprayer and the PF 1500 front sprayer tank. We have the Axis 40.2 fertilize spreader. Then we have the Enbrock weeder. We have the New Holland Discbine, the Vicon Tedder, Pottinger windrower, and then the New Holland round baler. We have the base game Flegel bale trailer. Then we have our bale fork for the Manitou, as well as a placeable grain silo and sleep trigger. So let's go over to the placeables. And as I said, all of the animal areas are, well, I may not have said this, all of the animal areas are built into the map, so you won't be selling into them. And if you play on any mode other than new farmer mode, none of the animal triggers exist. In our miscellaneous, we have no custom mods. We can buy the custom grain silo if we happen to sell it or we want to put another one down. And then we have our buyable sleep trigger should we wish to sell the sleep trigger and place it somewhere else. Now let's take a look around the farm. We've got our farmhouse right here by the career start point, which really is kind of a bit more like a industrial area. There we have the sleep trigger. And then we have a fair bit of farm machinery here. Now, I will say that a lot of these buildings are really showing their age. I mean, that is extremely low detail texture on pretty much everything. Lots of storage. You're going to find vehicles, machinery throughout this entire complex. We have a fuel trigger right here. More of our starting machinery all over the place. And then all of these sheds are all perfectly usable with openable doors and whatnot. So you're going to be really able to work most of the map from this one central farm area because of the amount of machinery that you have available to you. Now, these are kind of set up to be root crop dump stations. They have collisions on them. They're not silage dump stations. But if you want to dump grain in there, other root crops, you can indeed. Back here we have a pair of nice ramps. Now, there are no animals here on the starting farm. Some more of our machinery. Our pair of harvesters, and then our 2 silage bunkers, which are here on the main starting farm. Just going to cut through the building here to get to our farm silo, which is right over here. So we have our dump station right there, and then our fill spout right there. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and get set up for that fly around. Do a fly around of the map, come back to the garage, where we're going to buy our Mahindra and drive around and check out all of the sell points and the farms in some additional details. Let's go ahead and do a little spin here. We're looking at big field 5, and that is not even close to the biggest field on the map. Directly in front of us, we have the cow area. You see the biogas plant off in the distance. Overall, the map is fairly flat, as you can see, with some subtle rolling of the fields. We do have what looks like a water area down there in that field. I do want to see if that one happens to have collisions or anything. And you can really get a sense for how big this main farm complex is by looking below. So over here to our left, just outside this blue gate, then you make your way around the lane there. You're going to have the 2 silage bunkers that I mentioned, that one area that you can purchase by itself. In town here, we have a few select sell points. We'll take a closer look at those here in a little bit. Right there's one below. We have the animal dealer below. We have lime sell point or buy point. Down here in the southwest, we have our sawmill. So we make our way across the eastern side of the map. We have another nice little shed over here with a lime buy point. So the map does seem to have lime buy points scattered around. We have another one of those concrete structures kind of in a field. Do want to see if they happen to have collisions or not. Down here we have the pig farm. Let's go and check this one out. So they indeed have collisions. So with respect to hired help, course play, or other things, you're going to have to contend with those obstacles. Got a grain sell point, I believe, inside of this building. Now we're going to make our way up the eastern edge of the map. Taking a look across to the west. We have a bountiful set of triggers below. We have the chicken farm right here, which is just a house with a few select buildings. Our biogas plant with 2 long bunkers. Cow farm with this huge front cow pasture. And then the sheep farm is off in the distance there. Got another sell point directly below. And then we have our shop, our vehicle shop over here in the northwest. So right there is the sheep farm. That's probably going to be the first place we take a look at once we get our Mahindra. Now we've touched down here at the shop. We have a workshop trigger. Inside of here. And then our shop trigger over here at the door. It's hard to see, but our vehicle spawn point is right here in the shadows of this particular building. So we do have a fairly large area for our vehicles and equipment to spawn in. So even though we have quite a large list of starting equipment, should you wish to buy even more starting equipment of the large variety, shouldn't have any issue spawning it in. Let's head on over here to the sheep yard. And like I've already said, if you start this map up on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you're going to find that the animal triggers are missing. So if you ever want to play with animals, make sure you load this map up in new farmer mode. So here we have our water trough, and we use the animal pen extension mod, which helps us, one, locate where the water trough and milk triggers are located on the maps, and also will help us tell if the map has custom support for these particular features. The fact that these pipes are here just tells us that the map does not have custom support, but does indeed have the ability to be able to use the animal pen extension mod. We have our food trough right there, and then just down here we have the sheep drop-off point. 500 sheep in this particular building. And then around the corner, we have our wool trigger. This building does not have operable doors, but we do have a working lime trigger. So there you can see the sheep. Now let's continue to make our way down into the town of Bantikow, where we're going to check out some of the sell points. Directly to the east here, we have the main starting area and that small viable plot with the 2 silage triggers. Do have traffic and pedestrians here on the map. So our first sell point is inside of here. We have our dump station. And this particular sell point is going to be for village grain elevator. So that's going to be one of the 2 sell points for our grain. Down a block, we do have the animal dealer right here at, well, the slaughterhouse. I don't know why you'd be buying animals at the slaughterhouse, but okay. It makes sense for selling the animals. Not a giant fan of static animals, but okay. Now we have an egg sell point right here at the door. And then we have a lime buy point. And that pretty much concludes all of the sell points down here in the town of Bantikow. Let's make our way down to the Sawmill. Now, from this level, the map edge doesn't look too terrible bad. I know it looked a little sketchy from above. We have our sawmill. So we have our wood chip trigger, and then our log sell point and sell trigger right there. Take a look here at one of the custom crops. Here we have wheat, so we do have custom crop textures on the map. So there's our wheat. Let's head on back up through town, and we will double back just south of the main farm there and make our way over to the pig farm. Just trying to see if maybe there was an access road that we could take, but I don't think there was. There we go. To our right, we do have those 2 silage bunkers. And then the main farm over here to our left. We do get a little bit of a viewpoint as far as how overall flat the fields are. Little subtle terrain changes, but nothing too extreme. You shouldn't have too much problem with maybe even using a little under horsepowered equipment. This should now take us down to the big area over yonder. Okay, this would be a pretty darn good map for people that want to play with large machinery. Fairly wide open spaces. Not a lot of fences to really keep you contained. Probably could have just continued the road on around the corner, but hey, maybe this was a little bit quicker. Inside here we have our, my best guess, our slurry trigger. Probably our manure spawn point right there. We have an additional silage bunker right here. Now inside here we do have our pig buy area, 500 pigs. And I believe this is also where our straw trigger is. Now if we take a look outside of the building, we see the telltale signs of the straw trigger down here, kind of at the bottom of the ground. And then they appear to go into the shed. Why the straw trigger seems to, or appears to, extend all the way out to here, don't really know, but I would say that the straw trigger probably continues on inside the building and then over to there. Outside here we have the food trough and the water trough. Now this has a trigger, but I do not know what this is associated with. So you'll see that there is a trigger here, but I don't know what it is particularly associated with. At glance, it kind of looks like it might be a farm silo, but there isn't a silo out. Right? There's no silo out. There's nothing here. It makes you think, well, maybe that's another animal area. There's like a trigger here, so maybe that could be like for water or slurry for another animal area. But there's no other corresponding triggers that I have been able to locate, because this door doesn't do anything. So if anybody happens to know what these two towers really do, I'd be interested in knowing in the comments. They have a nice large shed here to either store crops or equipment into. And that is pretty much the pig farm, and yet another lime buy point. Now to continue on down the road to our purchase of root crop. Again, it looked like you could only sell potatoes at this particular sell point, according to the prices screen. We're going to need to go into the building. And then our dump trigger is right here. Let's double back, and then we'll head up to the biogas plant. Yep, that's what I was thinking. We can take this road directly on up to the biogas plant. You can see it off in the distance. Here's big old field 17, second largest field on the map. Overall, the map feels smooth, plays smooth. I don't think you should have too many problems with maybe low frame rates or stuttering or anything like that. Then inside here we have two large bunkers. 1 and 2. And then we have our digestate trigger around the side. We have our digester right here. And another lime buy point. Now we'll go check out the little chicken house, chicken farm. Now along this road we do kind of have some poles fairly close, but the road is also fairly wide, so I don't think you're going to have any issue bringing large machinery through here. We have our chicken farm. We have our chicken spawn point, or buy point. 500 chickens. We have our food trough. And then our egg spawn point right there. And that is the chicken area. Now we have 3 sell points at our next location, as well as a fuel stop. Tricky entrance here at the building. So inside here we have a dump station for grain. Grain industry. We have our fuel. Then inside of here we have our spinnery. Right here. And then our bale sell point right here for our silage hay straw grass. Should we not own the biogas plant? Let's make our way past the biogas plant to the cow farm. And then we have the dairy station, and then that is going to conclude us for this tour. So here we have custom crop texture for corn. is our lane for our dairy, and this big grass area here to the left is the large cow pasture. So with seasons, cows should be able to graze on grass quite well. Now the cow area is really split up into two different spots. Over here at the loading chute, we have the cow buy point, 500 cows. Inside here, we have our straw trigger. Right there. And then we have to go across the street to the cow pasture itself to get to the food trough and the water trough. Let's make our way back over here. We still have to locate the milk trigger. I am thinking that possibly the manure spawn point is going to be right here, given the fact that we've got this over here on this side. Here we have our milk trigger. Rather convenient. Really no indication that that would be milk, other than the fact that we do have our milk sales machine, which again is part of the animal pen extension mod. Very handy to have that. Helps us identify where in the world are the milk trigger. Here we have a large silage bunker for our dairy cows. We have our slurry point right here, and that should be pretty much everything for the dairy. I was kind of thinking maybe that one building might have also contained a farm silo, but doesn't look like it. Let's make our way up to the dairy, which is just over there. I have to say, I do not know if this map had a Farm Sim 17 variant. It's not ringing a bell. I'm not remembering a bunch of stuff. So quite possibly this map may have gone straight from FS15 to FS19. I would be interested if anybody remembers playing this map in FS15. How did they like it? Is it pretty much exactly how it was back there? And here we have our dairy. So guys, that is it. That is Bantikow. Again, this map is available over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub, and it is available for all platforms. And until next time, happy farming.